So, Tucson in a box. Let's get it out of there. We'll check it in, check it out. So, this is kind of becoming a repeatable theme for me. Big, chunky Tucson knives, man. Or big, chunky knives, period. I think it's a trend. And I'm not saying it's my trend. It's just a trend. There is a lot of big, chunky knives laying around right now, hitting the market. And this was one of them. And it definitely qualified. You know, I've said it before, but there's some knives that, I mean, looking at it, I don't know that I would carry it. You know, just me looking at it. Of course, I get surprised regularly once I put a knife in my hands. I go, yeah, I think I'll carry that. But there are a lot of big knives on the market right now. Let's get rid of this stuff right here. So maybe it's a design trend. You know, the designers are seeing things that way right now. And I don't know, does designers design based on customer demand or feedback, or do they just kind of go with what they feel? Said David Chen. I've seen a lot of his work with Tucson right now. I mean, so here's what I was saying. There's some of these knives that when I look at them, I go, I don't think that's really for me. But it's visually striking enough that as a Tucson collector, I got to get it. If it was another manufacturer, I'd probably pass. Now, I do collect some other manufacturers, so maybe I'd get it. But I think you get my point, because it's a Tucson, and visually it's stunning. Or, I don't know, it's got character just visually. Whether it's good character or bad character, it's not a plain vanilla box knife. It makes me go, yeah, I mean, I probably won't carry that. Like I prejudge it, but I do think I want that in my collection. Hey, let's get it open. Oh, man, I really like that. Okay, so the action on this thing is very well tuned. This is a Tucson TS500 in D2 steel. It's got MICARTA, titanium, and then D2 steel. I'm going to wipe that blade off. Look at that blade, man. Wow. So very cool. It's not near as heavy as I thought it was going to be. Just, I don't know, the box felt heavy. It looks heavy, but now that it's out of the box, I'm pleasantly kind of surprised by the weight of it. It's not like heavy at all. Access to this lock bar is wonderful, and mechanical drop shut, and it mechanical click home and out. Wow. Yeah, so let's listen to that. It even came with a little ding. That's not true. It's my computer behind me. Wow. Man, that is so good. Let's try this Spidey flick. Yeah, I don't think I can get that. Let's try the thumb. Yeah, I can get that thumb with authority. Whew. I mean, what's going on here, man? Wow. Hey, I'm going to take it apart. We'll clean it up, lube it, tune it, whatever needs to be done here. We'll put it back together, and then we can really check it out. I'm going to see, is there Loctite on that? Maybe just the tiniest little bit. Looks like it's going to run T8s all the way around. Big hardware for a big chunky knife. Yeah, this last screw right here, this released that scale. Lots of tension from that frame lock there. I don't know, is that a bolster lock, a frame lock? It's kind of protected by this MICARTA scale here. Are they calling that MICARTA? Yeah. Yeah, they're calling that MICARTA. I mean, it doesn't look dirty. It looks oily for sure. This bottom bearing looks a little dry. So I don't think it's going to hurt to get that oiled properly. And of course the question is, it's it's gonna challenge me for sure, but do I need to take those scales off? And I mean, on visual right here, I'm going to say no. But of course, if I don't, I'm going to be squeezing it and oil's going to come out of there. It's a T8, so you know what? I'm not even going to mess around. I'm just going to take it out. It's got nice skeletonizing. It's been skeletized. It's been milled to reduce the weight of the knife, the scale. All right, why is this struggling? Oh, okay. I see why. Because that MICARTA is underneath it. Yeah. Yeah, so there was enough oil in there. Look at the oil that was in there. That I'm glad I took it off. Because, you know, of course, look at it. It's dry everywhere that I can visually see it, but where I can't, it's wet. Super wet. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I had somebody commented recently and said, man, why you take them apart, or, you know, it's a broken record, or I don't know what they meant. But, I mean, I ain't doing it for the camera. That's how I check in my knives. And I'm just afforded the luxury of being able to do it on my YouTube channel, which allows me to do what I'm doing right now. I get to have a conversation with myself, with my camera, which, you know, I've expressed it before. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here and I wouldn't be saying a word. I'd just be by myself, doing my thing. And so I did create the channel, and I don't, you know, I had some ideas, you know, with it and this and that. Nicely milled pocket clip into the scale. Yeah, wonderful. But the side benefit that I've discovered is that it has enhanced my collecting so much. Because, like right now, it's like I'm having a conversation, and in truth, I mean, the reality is I'm talking to myself, because ain't nobody here, just me and this camera. And you're going to watch it later. Yeah, there's plenty of oil under this one. So again, I'm glad I took that off. All right, so we're fully disassembled. I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. But I want to make note while I'm doing it. There's some pretty impressive millwork. The millwork to weight relief this. And had they not done that, this knife would have been very heavy. And instead, they put a good amount of work in the milling in these scales, which makes me happy. Yeah, look at, so nice, this millwork on this. I mean, TWOSUN, man, they're game. They are game to getting busy right now, no question. You know, it almost appears to me, and I digress because I was talking about how I get to talk to myself, and, you know, the channel does that. And you know what? Let me finish that thought. So the thought was this. Somebody had made the comment that me taking these knives apart. Well, listen, that's what I do. I check in knives that I bring into my collection, pardon me, because I want them. And I'm just sharing in my channel what I would do normally. Now, you know, if somebody wants to be kind and send me a knife and say, hey, man, would you check this out? I'd be more than happy to do that. Box it back up the way I got it and send it back. But right now, the content that you're seeing, these are all knives that I buy for myself. Now, some of them, after I buy them, you know, like I'm interested for some reason. Some of them I buy them, and then they kind of go on the list. Yeah, I'm going to trade this, or I'm going to sell it, or I'm going to gift it. Like, you know, I gift knives. So some of them I give away. Some of them are on the trade or sell list. And some of them are just straight up into my collection. Some of them are users, but I currently do not have knives that I'm bringing just for content. So, I guess that answers that question, man. If it's redundant, well, I guess it's going to continue to be redundant, man, because, I'm just sharing what I do with my collection, bringing knives into my world. Now, you know, will that change? Maybe. I don't know. If somebody wants to send me a knife here again, I'll be happy to check it in or review it or spend some time on it. But that's not currently part of this platform. So back to my point. This other point is Tucson is currently bringing it, man. Like it seems to me some of these new models over the last, I'm going to say late spring into summer now, it appears to me that Tucson is focusing on making a really good product. Great tolerances. I think one argument would be is that, man, there is a lot of D2 in their lineup. Now, I can't answer to that, but are these exactly the same side to side? It appears so. They appear to be exactly the same. Let me put the other one in and see if it fits any different. I mean, I think they're exactly the same. So there is a lot of D2. The reason for that, I don't know. There's rumors that, it's what's available. The market is, steel's at a premium. I don't have an answer for that. And I most assuredly don't have a direct line to Tucson to ask them. With as many of these as I own and that are in my collection, I should be on the board of directors. That's my opinion, man. I don't know. But do companies bring, collectors in to talk with them about their product? I don't know. I mean, if you bought every Corvette that was ever made, would they listen to what you said? I don't know if GM would do that. I mean, they're designers and manufacturers, and they appreciate people that collect their stuff. And, I am not a designer, so what do they care what I think? Now, they could listen to me on a couple of their pocket clip designs. That wouldn't hurt my feelings, because, man, there's some. They could probably tend to hear me out when and if I was to talk about blade access when these are closed and in the pocket, because, man, a bunch of these past models in that category come up fairly short. I'm not sure which one of these is longer now that I'm looking at this, because they are not for the pocket clip. So it's just, okay, this one's definitely thicker. So yeah, it's in the right spot. But outside of that, what do I know, man, about manufacturing a knife? Not much. So, but I do feel that there's an effort on Tucson's part to produce a better knife. And if that's true, it's smart on their part, because I believe that they're sort of on the cusp of something. Like, their knives are so diverse, and some of them so very nice, carryable, functional, duty capable, definitely collectible, that it would make a lot of sense for them to say, hey, we need to move in the direction of quality, correctness, whether it's manufacturing or design or both. If they would do that, the premiums for their knives would definitely go up. The stock on their knife would definitely go up. It's up for me, but I'm a collector. There's some things that I think that they need to correct, get the masses to come along. But I think they're getting there. I'm watching pricing as well, and pricing is elevating for TWOSUN knives. I mean, when I first started collecting these, $50 was a lot of money for a TWOSUN. And now anything under $50 is a very basic, a very basic knife. Basic materials, basic design, not a lot going on. And well, let me slow my roll there. Missing 2 screws. Okay. Got a little ahead of myself. Sure did. The pocket clip goes down from the inside. So let's back up a little bit. I was talking too technical. I was like trying to make a serious point or something, when I probably ought to stick to, one or the other, chewing gum or walking, instead of trying to act fancy and get multiple tasks done here. All right. Focus, brother. There we go. Little pocket clip action. And I like this. Coming in from the back, less screws. It's a better finished product. Pretty cool. It's all milled, recessed in there. Nice heavy-duty T8. There it is. Yeah, I like it. And I mean, I think that's kind of an example. This isn't a huge thing, but you got to want to do that right, to go through the effort to just mill these both out really close, design all this to function. We'll see how that pocket clip runs in a minute here. We're almost to that. Yeah, so, hey man, that's my 2 cents on a TWOSUN, but I do believe that they're bringing it right now, that they're consistently, there's a quality of knife and material and manufacturing that's elevated. That I recently did a video where I compared a TWOSUN to a Wii. And I don't know, in my opinion, it stacked up pretty good, and it was an old TWOSUN. It's not any of this new stuff that's coming out. It was an older model, and I mean, it compared really well to the Wii knife. Materials, function, fit and finish, it was all kind of there. Why am I talking about that? Well, because this knife is stunning, man. It really is. All of it. The feel, the machine work, the feel of this machine work, the MICARTA, the grip there, the tolerances, the pocket clip, the milling. This jimping. Wait till I get to that. I mean, it's coming, but wow. Let me check the play on this blade so I can put these tools up. Yeah, that's solid. That's solid. Let me feel that. I wonder if I could back that out a little bit. I probably could. That was pretty tight. Yeah. Okay. I think I tightened that a little bit more than it was before, but I'm good with that. A little tension on that's going to be good. Wow. I mean, let me try that thumb. And let me try that Spidey foot. Come on. Nope, not me. Whew. Yeah, and and of course the main reason is, see the distance here? Well, look here on this side with the cutout, I got plenty of room to get my thumb in there. So I don't know if it wasn't by design. This was relief for The lock bar, well, so maybe it was a double dip. Maybe Chen said, hey, we're going to create access to the lock bar, but it'll also allow the ability to thumb flick this knife. So the action is just stunning on this. It's drop shut, smooth as can be, super mechanical. Rockets out there. The detent is wonderful. Let's talk about the grip ergonomics on this knife. This is a really good grip right here. There's nice jimping on the back of this flipper tab that locks this finger in here. 3 fingers go into this space, and then that last finger is up on this ramp. The pocket clip is super flat, and it falls high in the hand up in this area, right where it should be. And so a strong grip here is wonderful. This jimping, let's go there. Wow. I mean, the jimping on the spine of this knife. Why am I not focusing? Come on. Maybe it's my vision, but from my end, it doesn't appear to be focusing, but I guess it is. So this jimping on the back of the spine is super aggressive, man. Look at it from the side profile. It's really aggressive. It's sharp, it bites, but it's not too sharp. Like, I don't feel like it's going to cut me in any way there. So this here, again, is a very strong, very confident grip here or here. There's a choil here, so you can choke up. Put your finger dangerously up on this edge. But can you work here? Yep. All that's in there. Yeah, so the ergonomics on this thing are really nice. It's not too fat. It's a fairly thin knife. It's pretty wide. But in my hand, I fit perfectly on this. So, I mean, is this a fighting knife? If, a defense knife? I mean, if we're talking straight defense, yeah, with this function, look at this swedge on this tip. I mean, super strong tip. Could you pry with this? I mean, I'm pretty sure you could smash that into something and pry out staples or whatever you wanted to. So from a work knife, a self-defense knife, I think it's pretty solid. Let's run that pocket clip. Pardon me. Okay. So, thick material, I mean, it's going to force me to work. I don't know that I could do that one-handed on a thick material, but I've cleared it now, and it runs perfectly. Once it clears, it's just getting under that initial tip on that thick material. So I suppose, depending on the thickness and the edge of that material, it works perfect on thick material. It runs smooth. It's just trying to clear it to get it in there. But once it clears, it ran really well, which is kind of odd, because normally if it's hard to get under it, it doesn't run very well. But man, that runs perfect on that thick material. So let's check normal jean size material. That's one-handed, in and out. Really deep carry for a machined pocket clip, machined titanium. Normally there's quite a bit sticking out. That's about as minimalistic as you've seen. It does reveal a fairly big knife in there, though. I carry on this outside corner on this right back pocket, so these shorts are set up perfect to illustrate that. And so for me, that's where I carry, is right there. And there's plenty of tension here that if I reach back for this knife, it's going to still be in this spot. Yeah, good pocket clip. I'm going to say that passes. Let's check for safety. See if I can touch this tip. Nope. And how about blade contact through the back? No, I cannot. So pass on the back, pass on the tip. If you put this in your pocket, it's safe. And the pocket clip's good. Wonderful. So let's see if it cuts. Pretty chunky on that sharpening. I might have to sharpen this knife. How about the top tip? I mean, It's sharp, but again, pretty janky on the sharpening. Let me, I'm going to pause and see if I can't just remedy it real quick. Okay, little strop work. Let's see what we got. So it's improved, but I definitely think I can do better. So, I mean, I think it's fair in the review to say, hey, it didn't come with a great edge. Now, it's a thick, chunky knife. So, I mean, this is pretty sharp. I almost think that I could shave with that right there. I'm going to see if I can pick it up. Yeah, I mean, it's just plucking hair, so I don't know if the camera's picking that up. So it's wicked sharp. You see all the hair on there that I just plucked off? Yeah, I mean, just a little bit of work there, and it's plucking hair. But you know, hey, it's worth saying. Cutting this fine little paper, that's a whole nother monster, man. It's way more than whipping some hair off your arm. So it's hair shaving sharp. Both blades, 100% it is. Could I do work on it to get it to manage this really thin paper? Yeah. But for them to send the knife needing a little strop work doesn't bother me a bit. So price and availability. eBay auction from D199, that's where I picked it up. I paid just over $70, like $70 for this at an auction. Now, is that high in my D2 steel line? It is, but I put this in a video before. I'm kind of over that D2 being some subgrade steel thing. I've got a lot of D2, and it sharpens wonderfully. It'll hold a great edge. You know, the whole corrosion resistant thing. I don't know. I've never had one corrode. So when I have one corrode, then I can come back on here and go, hey, I stand corrected. This stuff's terrible. But until then, I don't really have a problem with it. Now, for just a D2 pocket knife, it is all titanium with some great micarta in it. You know, am I up in the $70 range to get one of those now? That seems kind of high. But I'm going to say this. This knife's really cool. Is it worth $70? I think it is. I mean, I definitely would pay $70 for it to put it in my Tucson collection. This thing is phenomenal. It's wonderful. And I think I'm going to give it a run in my pocket. I mean, at first glance, I don't think I would have, but I think I might carry this knife. We'll see. All right, anyways. TS, come on, what is it again? It's a TS500. Titanium, micarta, D2 steel. Yeah, appreciate you watching.